Good morning. Today is day 3 of our Unemployed Now What series. So hopefully you've been following along. These tips have been helpful. Day 3 is really where we start to get into the meat and potatoes, if you will, of our job search process. And on day 3, I want you to focus on 2 things. I want you to focus on building a resume and updating your LinkedIn profile. So those are the 2 tasks I want you to work on today. The resume will take more than one day, but today's our day to get it started. And what I want you to do is build a resume that can be easily adapted for different roles. So there's, I think, a really big myth out there that you have to tailor your resume very, very, very specifically for each role. It's not exactly true. And we'll talk about why a little bit later in this video. But I want you to build a shell resume, if you will, that can be just quickly tweaked for different types of roles or different positions. But overall, it should be fairly consistent for every role, again, with just slight little tweaks for every position. If you do not know where to start or how to build a resume, go ahead and jump on Etsy or Google. There are some really good outlines out there that you can use to just sort of plug and play your different roles and your contact information. So don't get too caught up in the formatting. A lot of companies are utilizing electronic, applicant tracking systems now. So unless you're in graphic design or some type of visual field, I wouldn't worry too much on formatting. I would focus more on the content, making sure that it's consistent, that your dates are correct, and that you have a very easy to follow along resume. There's also a lot of questions I get around length. I would say 1 page if you're earlier in your career, 2 pages if you're a little bit later in your career. Anything above 2 pages outside of academia or some research-oriented fields starts to get a little bit extensive. So for most of us, 2 pages is going to be good. So I also want you to start thinking about 2 or 3 people in your network that you trust their professional opinion that you can send this resume to get feedback. So resume formatting should be very clear. I love a bullet point format where every bullet starts with a verb and has some quantitative components if applicable for your role. So, for example, if you're in recruiting, you might want to talk about your time to fill metrics, how many hires you made, any type of turnover impact that happened after you started. So focusing on metrics that matter for your area. You can then make your life easy and just tweak your LinkedIn profile to reflect that resume. I've gotten a lot of questions around resume writers and things like that. I want you to be very cautious when looking at hiring a resume writer. If you're already unemployed financially, you don't want to put any more strain on yourself. And transparently, not all resume writers really excel in writing a resume that's going to make a huge difference for you. A better tip that I have for you, rather than spending your money on a resume writer, is to log on to Indeed and LinkedIn. And I want you to do a job search for the type of position that you're looking for. So again, if we're a recruiter and let's say we're looking for a recruiting manager role, I want you to type in talent acquisition manager or recruiting manager, put in the geographic area that you're targeting, and take a look at the results that the system gives you. You can actually opt in to have results emailed to you with some regular cadence. So weekly or daily, the system, so LinkedIn and Indeed, will send you new jobs that match your search criteria. I want you to focus on the roles and responsibilities and the job requirements of those roles. You're going to very quickly be able to start identifying trends and desired skills across the board. That's where I want you to incorporate some of that similar verbiage and words into your resume. because that way you'll be able to get through any type of electronic screening or job matching that an applicant tracking system will do. That's going to get you a little bit further, I think, over a resume writer, unless you have some type of specialized role or executive role that you're looking for. But for most of us, that's going to be more than enough to make sure that your resume is very tailored to your industry or field of work. Also, a lot of people have been using AI, Chat GPT, putting in a job description and saying, tailor my resume to this. Be very careful when utilizing AI and Chat GPT or some of those automatic job application softwares, because recruiters can see it now, right? We're wise, we're hip to the game. It's not what it was, several months ago when things were just starting out. So the goal is to stand out, not necessarily to blend in. And unfortunately, a lot of those technologies right now are just making you blend in. So I hope this is helpful. If you have questions, specific feedback, go ahead and drop them in the comments and I'll respond to them as they come in. So today we're focusing on our resume and our LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn profile, I think it's fine to cut and paste a very shortened version of your resume just to start. But again, make sure that you set up those job alerts and you're paying very, very close attention to their preferred requirements as well as their roles and responsibilities. That's going to give you an idea of what companies are looking for holistically. That's what should help you hone in your resume. So good luck. Drop me any questions. Stay tuned tomorrow for day 4 of our 5-part series on breaking down how to look for a job. And I'm looking forward to hearing if these tips and tricks are helping you or what you want to hear about as you go about the process of looking for a job.